Satan. Movie Review is a documentary about the rise of the Satanic Temple. Should you watch it? Should you support them? Better yet, should you become a Satanist? Greetings, future corpses, and welcome to The Gothic Side of Life. I will be your funeral guide, Glenlee Allen Davis. Today's show, we are going to be talking about, or reviewing, Hail Satan. This is a really cool documentary about the rise of the Satanic Temple. I give this movie 2 horns way up. Or should it be 2 horns down for hell? I'm not sure. Okay, whether you're into this kind of thing or not, if you enjoy documentaries, this was a really cool movie. It's well put together, it's witty, it's funny, and it even shows some satanic titties, which you can't go wrong with that. Just to let you know, I myself have been subscribed to the Satanic Temple's newsletter for probably about 2 or 3 years now. I thought what they were doing was very courageous, and immediately I wanted to know more. Now, am I an official member? Am I a Satanist? No, I'm an atheist. The way I look at it is if they needed something from me, if the Satanic Temple emailed me, contacted me tomorrow and said, hey, we have a rally, we need something from you, can you help out? I probably would do it. But as far as being an official member, that just goes against what I believe in, and I can't do it.
What we want to do is force people to evaluate their notions of the United States being a Christian nation. It's not. We're a secular nation. We are supposed to be a democratic, pluralistic nation. We are supposed to be a nation that doesn't allow the government to dictate what is appropriate religious expression.
As much as I agree with most of what they believe in, I myself can never be a Satanist because it goes against my beliefs of being an atheist. It's in direct contradiction of not believing in God. Certainly, if you believe in one, you believe in the other. They have a whole philosophy that Satanism really isn't about Satan. That, to me, doesn't make any sense. Just like back in the day with Anton LaVey, I was a huge fan of the Satanic Bible. I enjoyed it, but when I read it, I thought Anton LaVey was somebody with a really cool philosophy, but needed something to get his point across. So I think he kind of used the words of Satan to propel himself into the limelight. The Satanic Temple, however, is not really doing that. They don't really use it for an agenda for themselves. They use it for as an agenda to help other people, and that's what makes them unique. One of the things that I like is getting the stories from their newsletter. One particular incident was when they have a program called Menstruate with Satan. And what they do is they collect female hygiene products, tampons, things like that, and donate them to local shelters. One of those shelters in Arizona was the YMCA. And I thought it was funny that unfortunately one person complained to the headquarters, and because the YMCA is a Christian-run organization, they actually had to refuse the donations from the Satanic Temple because it was Menstruate with Satan. One of the main things the Satanic Temple did to get notoriety is they battled government buildings that thought it was okay to put a statue of the 10 Commandments on government property. Now, as anybody knows, the government is supposed to be run free of religion, because you're supposed to separate state and religion. I pay my tax dollars and I don't believe in God. And somebody else who pays tax dollars who doesn't believe in their God, Christianity, they may believe in Hinduism, Judaism, or whatnot. And it is kind of unfair that a government building would hold a religious statue because that doesn't represent all the people of America. And one of the things the Satanic Temple does is they fight that power. What they did is they proposed that if you can have a statue of the Ten Commandments, you should also have a statue of a Baphomet, or represent the Satanic Church or Satanism. You should represent Satanism just as much as you represent Christianity or any other religion. It should be open to all. Now, throughout the movie, they go back and forth about how the organization became larger and larger with the protest of such things as this. And one of the things that is really compelling is how they fight it. They fight it legally. They fight it within the bounds of the law. I find it really odd that when you do that, the Christians kind of fight back dirty. They kind of don't treat it in the same respect, which you wouldn't expect that. You would expect the Christians to be more of faith and the Satanists to be the evil ones. But as I've always said, no, that's not the case. It is done very well. They kind of poke fun at themselves. I mean, because you kind of have no other choice. You kind of have to laugh about it, how ridiculous they're treated. When a Christian is attacked in any way, shape, or form for their religious belief, it's considered a hate crime or terrorism, and it seems like the police or the proper authorities get involved very quickly. Whereas when the Satanic Temple presented their case, people were going over the top to try to stop them, and they were constantly threatened with death threats. It seemed like nobody cared. As far as I could tell through the movie, it seemed they had to hire their own security. They had to take care of themselves. In fact, a few of the events they had to cancel because they were scared for their lives. I just find this an odd double standard, that Christianity gets to act freely to hate whoever they want, but the Satanists have to behave themselves. The Satanic Temple has a code of ethics that it requires its members to abide by. You should try to treat all people with respect. You represent the church in a certain light, not in a negative way. And if you don't follow these guidelines, or if you're found giving the Satanic Temple a bad name, then you are no longer welcome. They even show that throughout the movie, that one of their location's leaders started to get a little bit out of hand. They ended up removing her from the organization. If you're a Christian, they don't really have that many standards. Not that I'm aware of. It seems like, hey, if you're a racist, come on down. If you're a rapist, that's fine. If you're a murderer, hey, Jesus will forgive you. And I understand it to a certain degree that the point is to help people find a greater good within themselves, and they're trying to help. But you would think that certain people, if they're breaking that code, they should no longer be allowed to be a member. It's very fascinating that the Satanists have a higher standard in the people they look to than the Christians do. All in all, I thought this movie was brilliant. It's a great documentary. Now, I myself, after watching it, I immediately went to the website, and I will have a link below in the description so you can check it out too. And I bought myself a mini Baphomet statue. I also donated some extra money to help their cause, because from what I understand, they have a lot of legal fees and they could use all the help they can get. This is the statue. It's very well made, well put together. The design, the detail is really cool, and it's definitely a great addition to my shelf of oddities. I would advise anybody to go to their website, read about them, find out for yourself what you think, watch the movie, make your own decision. If you've already seen it, leave your own comments below, whether you enjoyed it or not. Even if you didn't like the movie, even if you're not a Satanist, even if you don't know anything about them, this is why you should be supporting this group. The Satanic Temple is your only intelligent chance against legally fighting the corrupt system of our government that favors one religion over all human rights. If you're an atheist, you should be supporting this group. If you are pro-choice, you should be supporting this group. If you are a part of the LGBTQ community, you need to support this group. And most importantly, if you are Christian, now I know this is going to sound weird, if you are Christian, you should be supporting this group. And let me tell you why. As much as you want to hate these people, they are actually fighting for your rights as much as they're fighting for their own. Because if you think about it, one day you may not be the dominant religion in this country. One day, that may be Judaism, that may be Muslim, that may be Hinduism. You don't know. And there may come a time when you wish you had somebody like them on your side fighting for your rights. The Satanic Temple is our best hope against the stupidity of humanity. So one of the only downsides or things that bother me about the Satanic Temple, there was an instance where Netflix was using the Baphomet image in one of their shows, something about the Sabrina the Teenage Witch or some crap like that. I mean, I can understand the whole copyright issue, and I certainly would be upset about that if they didn't get permission. But they kind of said something like, we don't think it represents Satanists in a good light because it makes them come across as evil. And, well, listen, you have the name Satan in the title of your group. To say that you don't want Christians to think of you as evil, I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. I mean, you can save 1,000 Christians from 1,000 burning churches or burning buildings, but I guarantee you they're going to be grateful for you up until the point where you say, hey, I'm a Satanist. Hey, I'm part of the Satanic Temple. And the moment you do that, they're going to be like, holy shit, you're a Satanist? Oh, get away from me. And, you know, okay. So no matter what you do, people are going to have a preconceived notion about who you are. And that's never going to change. Frankly, that's probably why you chose that name to begin with. And you should embrace it. The reason you got these people to join you to begin with is the fact that you're Satanist. That would be the only thing that kind of nudges me the wrong way. But, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Embrace who you are, and don't forget that. Hell Satan, go check it out. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, turn on notifications. There's 2 things you can do to help me out. 1, share this with somebody else. Post it on your social media, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, I don't know, whatever the fuck you do. Even if you didn't like it, post it somewhere, because maybe your friends have lower standards than you do. Number 2, this channel is sponsored by Dysfunctional Doll. It's a clothing company, a dark alternative Gothic clothing company. The link is in the description below. Buying something from there helps support this channel. Now, I don't want to be mean, but if you're a religious person and you're offended by what I spoke about, don't leave a stupid comment below. Please leave a comment, but make it something worth discussing, something intelligent. Don't just say, you're going to go to hell. You're damned. Your soul is eternally going to rot under Satan's right nut. It doesn't make any sense to leave that comment or to tell me that I'm going to be blessed by Jesus's soul if I just... Don't be a dipshit. Just don't do it, okay? Because look, listen, here's the deal. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this video if I didn't believe in what I believe in. So you telling me I'm going to go to hell by you telling me I'm evil is not really going to change my mind. It's not like I'm going to be like, hey, Ma, this guy said I was going to hell. I better change my ways. You know, it's like, come on, give me a break. Is if you strongly believe in your religion, then you can be respectful about it when you try to convince other people that they should believe in it too. If I'm going to hell, I'm okay with that. I've already made my peace with it. Because let me tell you something. As I always say, there's 2 types of people in hell. Those that are being whipped and those that are doing the whipping. And you can bet your ass I'll be doing the whipping. Thanks for watching.